Hey everybody, it's been a little while. I'm about to do a video. I'm going to do an HO scale scratch build for Raby, which is CSX Rail Rider Raby, and I can't remember the numbers that go with it. Sorry if it seems like I'm being blinded. I just got a new light and I think it's just a bit much for my face, but it works good on my table. Just basically we're going to see what we can do, what we can come up with, and let's hope to get out a good model. Alright. So, average story is about 10 feet. We know that. So, instantly, when you're thinking about building a house, think you need 10 scale feet for one floor. And that's because even though you're only getting about 8 feet on the inside, you've got 1 foot for floor joists, and then you got a foot on the top for ceiling and floor joist for the second floor. It actually mathematically possible that way. It makes it a little easier to think just 10 feet per story. Alright. This is a 3-story house. Now I've went back and re-studied the pictures and everything else. I know that the windows were 36 inches wide and 60 inches tall. The doors were all 80 inches tall but 30 inches wide. Through that calculation is how I could figure out how to do my last model. But I now know that there's 6 windows, and there's also a double dormer window at the very top. So I've got to go through and figure out how in the world I'm going to do this to make this scale accurate for Raby. Now mine's a little narrow because I didn't have the proper measurement. Alright, I didn't have a picture, I didn't have anything to go off of. I went off of memory and I got it pretty good. So let's see if we can actually get Raby's HO scale done. There's also another trick that I'm going to do that will equally surprise everybody. I've got it in my head and I know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make this structure come apart for the second to first floor. That way, if Raby ever wants to go through and put walls in the inside and separate it all out and actually make a full house out of it and detail the inside and everything else, he will be able to do that without a problem. So the second and first floor is going to be able to pull apart from one another. Then when you get up to the attic, the roof just comes off. So I'm leaving that open. I'm not putting a floor in there, Jay. The attic's pretty much useless space anyways. So you want to put lights in and everything else, you can have an attic light that'll shine down on the second floor, and then you can go down to the first floor and put another light in the middle, and it'll actually brighten this thing up beautifully for HO scale. And that's kind of why I'm doing it, is because when you get to HO scale, you got the room. You can actually do a lot of nice things. And in scale, everything is so small, it makes it kind of hard to do those little details. So let's get to work. Ooh. Hold on, bear with me a minute. My tripod wants to fall over. Alright. The spaces between the windows were 36 inches. Alright. I'm going to break out the old phone. This thing has almost no memory to it whatsoever. And holy crap. Okay, well that was deleted for some reason. Alright. Well, now I got 36 inches from the edge of the wall to the windows. And I had a pencil. There it is. There ain't no tip on that pencil. Well, if you're going to make a mistake, you might as well make a mistake. Give me 1 second. All this crap in here. I thought I had a pencil in here. I know I got a pencil somewhere. This is the reason why I do live videos, everybody, is so that you can see me even make mistakes, so that way you can feel human. That's super glue. There's my X-Acto knife. Don't want to cut myself. And your can of hairspray. Where in the world? You know I had that pencil. Hey. Well, everybody, I will be back in a minute. I gotta go hunt a pencil. Well, if anybody sees a pencil sharpener at any point in time in this video, please yell it out to me because I cannot find my pencil sharpener. But I found a pencil that was sharpened. Alright. So we got 36 inches, which is 3 foot. Alright. Another 36 inches for a window. 6 foot. Another 36 inches. Makes 9 foot. Alright. I'm just going to do 36 inches for all of them, because it'll give me the easiest way to do this. So that's 2. Wish I had my calculator. Oh yeah, let's do it that way. Because that's 3 times 6 and then 3 times 7. Be it. That's 18 feet for that. Now what do I do with the papers? There's a strip of paper. 18 and 3 times 7 is 21. So the whole face is 18 plus 21. I know I could have probably done that in my head. It's 39 feet wide. I'm trying to make this as prototypical as possible for you, but the house is gone, so any measurements are kind of going to be as close as possible, but may not be exactly accurate. Alright. There's that. Now, what do I do with straight edge? I'm all over the place today. At least I got this. Protractor. That ain't working out too well. Crap. Oh man. That don't look great. I'm trying to think, because that don't look right. That doesn't look too much bigger than that. Alright, well, let's see here. That's 1, 2, 3. We've already got marked. Four windows. That's right. Okay. It just must be my mind. But, man. I need a middle straight edge, and I just remembered where that's at. Sorry everybody, I jumped forward a step without thinking about it. I got my straight edge. I actually had me a little bit of a break too, because I'm so tired of losing stuff. Took my straight edge and straightened it up. I clamped it to the table so that way it won't wobble out of my way. I'm just going to take my knife, now that I know where my cut line is, and lightly scribe. Once you get down there a good ways, you could actually put some pressure to it, but I like to be as light as possible on the first couple so the knife blade don't wander. Now that I'm down in there, I can actually use a bit of pressure and cut out a good bit of the plastic. Some people scribe till they snap. I scribe through, just me and old habit, and die's kind of hard. Alright, so now we got that much done. So now I need to measure up 20 feet. A scale rule does make this a lot easier. I know that the width is right, I just need to measure up. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, 39-40 feet is not that wide for a house. I hate to tell you this, but, oh, look, we're right on the line. I need to grab a pencil. But 40 feet is a lot wider than your normal everyday house, believe it or not. 40 feet's as long as most semi trucks that are still on the road. All right. So we got that. Now, what did I do with my other phone? There it is. Now I'm gonna do something just so that I can refresh my memory. I'm gonna go on the internet. Alright. Oop. Let's hope that this works. That's Williamson, Illinois. Okay. There it is. This may not tell me I have no connection, and that's fine. Crap. Yeah. And of course I changed the Wi-Fi password, so alright, I ain't gonna be able to do that. Give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. That's completely my fault. I was actually looking for this picture. I don't know how well you can see that screen to screen, but this is the only picture that I have of this farmhouse to go off of. Kind of sad, but it's the best I can do. Alright. So, if I'm looking at this correctly, from the edges of those two windows, which would be this one and this one, I've got the edges of the pitch of that thing. So, let me see here. Alright. Looks like 15 and 24 feet. $15, 24 feet. Now I know it goes up 10 foot from the very middle of that, so that's 9 feet, 74 and a half. Four and a half from there goes up 10 foot. Exactly. Actually, it puts it right there, but that don't look right. I'm gonna try 8 foot and see what the difference is. Foot pushing about there. 8 foot. not 10 foot. Alright. Get that eraser down in there. Alright. So, this time I don't have to clamp this down. But at least now that I have this picture, I actually get a much better measurement and a much better view of how this thing is actually supposed to go together. I'm gonna double check it off the picture, and yeah, we're good. I'm gonna double check, make sure I got 20 feet to the bottom. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna draw a line at the 10-foot mark as well. That separates the stories so I could tell exactly what I'm doing. Alright, but I'm not gonna cut this yet. Alright. I wanna make sure that the building all lines up correctly before I do that, because I've got a board right there that I'm following the lower lip of. As this is clapboard siding, I can actually cut this freehand pretty easy, because the blade will want to follow the bottom of that board as the board above is raised. Now this is where it gets tricky. I will use a straight edge clamp to the table to do this. I got the rest of it right, but I got something else wrong. Time to break out the protractor. That's reading 120. So that's 30 degrees off of 90. So if I set this for 30 degrees, 60, sorry. Get the same edge on this side, as long as it's all squared up. No, I didn't get the same edge. There we go. Don't ever take your measurements for granted. Sometimes you even screw up. Everybody screws up. Alright? Nothing you can do about it but to fix it once you can. Just like me dropping the daggone clamp. If first you don't succeed, scrab and scrab again. Let's hope that this will break free. And there we go. First facade is done. It's the very front of the house. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be quite a bit of work, and I'm not going to show you all of it on this video. But since we have the extra space, let's do something else. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a bit of an operations video, everybody. I'm not saying it's going to be any good because it's probably not. It's the first time I've even going to attempt this. Now I'm going to let this get around here once, just for a simple fact is I've got it cranked way up. It's a little bit of a dirty track, so just bear with me. Oop. Sorry. Well, something else fly off the wall. Oh, just all out. I'm not using car cards or anything else right now because I just don't have them. Alright. Well. Alright. Alright, we've got a loaded grain hopper that needs to be emptied. We have an empty box car which needs to be filled up. And we have a full tanker that needs to be delivered. Now we got an empty tanker right here at Madison Fuels. We've got a loaded grain hopper back here that still needs to go out to other customers. And that's it. What's going to be Beecham's Farm Supply. This whole complex is. And that got bumped back when I was cleaning the track. And I have a Western Maryland box car that's in need of pickup too. Maybe I ought to start getting my tools together before I start the videos. That's right, that's not supposed to be in that drawer. Wrong drawer. There's the Rick's pick. Alright. What happened? There we go. And I try to keep the speed limit of my locomotives at speed step 30 through the industry. Depending on how clean my track is right now, depends on how fast that's going to actually run. I try to keep the max on the main line 60, but I was running 80 earlier, and that was just to keep the train from stalling. So let's see what we can get. Right now this is at speed step 50. I use an NCE power cap, and these are two DC locomotives. And I say DC locomotives because they are DC locomotives. If I can get light under my bench work, they're both being run off of one DZ 123 Digitrax decoder. And how I did that was the motor outputs for the decoder are connected to the track, and where this says track power, I've got the track power for the decoder going directly to there. Alright. Come on, hook up. There it goes. The only cars that I don't like right now are my covered hoppers because they don't have micro-trans couplers. They have the Bachmann couplers. So they get to be a real pain in the butt. All the rest of them are micro-trans couplers, including both the Lifelike SW1200s. And I'm not running momentum today. I normally do. But this is speed step 30. And let's hope nothing stalls out. Or derails. Yes, I do run 128 speed steps. So, if anybody has a question with that, yes. Alright. There we go, almost. And we should be coupled. Yes. Hello. Wake up, engineer. I gave you a command. Oh, man. This whole thing is done with Kato unit track. It's 12 and 3/4 inch radius curves, or 12 and 3/8, I forget. And number 6 turnouts. And my 2 pickups are at the end, so I'm on the main line, so I can crank her up. I'll slow her on down. Alright. Well, I wish I'd have turned the camera around to where I could have seen the screen. Come on. There we go. Alright. Now, because I'm not dropping the tank car yet, I'm going to put the tank car in the siding, not on the spur. Now, dead end tracks, I've heard people call them sidings, and the industries call them sidings. The actual railroads, that's a spur. It's dead ends. A siding itself is a passing siding. Alright. I'll park. Oop. Something shorted and I don't know what. Well, something that shouldn't have happened and I can't explain it because there's nothing there to even make it possible. Alright. Now I'm going to bring out the tank car and I'm going to set it on the passing siding. just so it's out of my way for the moment. I accidentally blocked the road. Boy, those wheels could use some cleaning. They're all black. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and put my box car in. Then I'm gonna put my grain hopper in, and this is where it actually starts getting really tricky. I've got a facing point maneuver. How do I get this tank car in there with the locomotives going that way? That's actually a kind of easy thing to do for me, but I know a lot of people think that it's overly complicated. And as long as you got a passing siding around you, you should be good. And I'm going to show you the trick. Alright. I'm going to come at her on a high ball. And I have not even run this layout in over a month, so bear with me. No, I don't do high-speed couplings. Not no speed racer. Some of you might be screaming, well, you got no way car in between your locomotive and the tanker. A way car is only needed in between the locomotive and the tanker if you're doing mainline speeds and you're not in an industrial switching area. So I'm in an industrial switching area. I need no cars in between my locomotives and my tank cars. Alright, now we got that fixed. Now I need to put that back on the rails. So as I'm doing low speeds and all, it is actually quite legal for me to run with a tank car right next to my locomotives. So if you guys are ever sitting there wondering how in the world a tank car gets away with being right next to a locomotive, that's really one of the few ways that it actually gets away with it. Now here's the patch of track that I normally have a lot of problems with. Let's cross our fingers and pray to God Murphy don't show up. Sorry, Vinny, I stole that one from you. Should have gave you a warning. Alright, here. Come on, couple. There you go. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm picking up a little bit of speed, but we go. Everybody's household heat, if it's diesel fuel, is just now arriving at Madison's Fuel. And I'm not too sure where I'm going to put the pump tanks and all that. So I kind of just park it right on the other side of that crossing and pretend that the gas station's the one that actually pumps it out through some sort of metering thing or something they got back there. If I can get the Rick's pick in the coupler. There we go. Try not to block the camera too much. Alright. I did not uncouple the locomotives, I know that much. This is actually becoming quite a common annoyance. I don't know what I'm going to do to fix that. I might put a drawbar that I'll homemade between those two. Same company, same manufacturer, neither one speed match. Don't know how that works out. Now I need to build the train to go back to the main line. Now we come into town this way, but we're leaving that way. To go back to the same yard we came from. But that's back to the weight car thing. How do I put a tank car on a train that's 3 cars long, where the tank car cannot be next to the locomotives or next to the caboose? Well, that's how. Even though it's an empty diesel tanker, all railroads treat them just like if they were completely loaded. At all times. That's any flammable liquid container. My wife must be deaf. She got that TV turned up way too loud out there. Alright, well, now I'm gonna place my weight car so that it can get its orders, which is also known as a caboose. It's a car that does not make any money. It's a weight car, because it gets in the way. Let the conductor and the station master talk for a little bit. Probably enjoy some hot cocoa or something like that. Maybe a cold beer for getting ready to go off duty. Alright. The caboose has already got the orders and everything else all ready, even if he is still sitting inside the station. We're going to do an engineer's trick when the conductor's out playing around and we're still working. There we go. Alright, now the engineer can get off and get his orders and everything else. So while they're in there discussing everything, the brakeman probably doing a brake test on the entire train, but he's the one that doesn't get the brake. And they wonder why they call him the brakeman. So, give them a couple minutes. They all come back out and join the train. You can either play along with that scenario and do that, but me, I just go, well, the engineer's just going to jump down off the platform, run in there, smack the conductor upside the back of the head, say it's time to go, and get. And that there's how I run the Maryland Central. I can't wait till it's a bigger railroad, to be honest with you. Sorry about the clothes and you're looking into my closet. But yeah, feel free to subscribe, comment, whatever. I don't really care. Please comment, please subscribe. Please like them. If you don't like the video, tell me why. I'm more than happy to try to meander things around to fix things. By the way, Sparky 107, I just watched some videos from your trip. I hope you had an awesome time down here in the States. I know you're back in Ontario right now. That was a beautiful locomotive you gave Vinny, and I know that would have made me cry too, Vinny, so don't be too upset. And Eric, it was good to see you over there, but why didn't you stick around? Alright, I guess I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.